Virginia. As a 20-year pharmacist, West gets a unique perspective of the issues.
A lot of children are treated for attention deficit disorders, which their medications would be, in terms of an adult, it would speed them up and it would give them a high, it would give them that race. So a lot of times we have parents taking their kids' medicine for attention deficit, so they end up at school with no medicines, the pharmacy gets called, physicians get called, and it's just one big circle.
Prescriptions aren't the only thing children are going without.
The parents take the money and they use it for other things to get the drugs, and there's nothing left for the kids to buy the food for them. While the parents are content to go without the food, the children become the victims.
One Voice is a nonprofit, religious-based organization in Wyoming County. The group recently started a food drive for homeless or neglected children in the area. During the spring, children from Oceana were given the chance to write anonymous letters to their elected officials. They told the politicians how drugs have affected their lives.
And they began writing the letters, and things began to surface that we couldn't begin to imagine.
Petra Brown says when group members heard of the problem, they teamed with the Department of Health and Human Resources to distribute bags of food.
We've got a lot of different things. We've got peanut butter crackers, puddings, fruits.
Brown says they get about 30 to 50 requests per week.
We wanted easy to prepare things that a child doesn't really need assistance with.
Westside Pharmacy hosts one of the drop-off boxes for the food drive. West says she and her employees also make sure the boxes are full each week. She says it's her way to give back, but mainly it's her faith that keeps drawing her support.
And I think that's one good thing about One Voice is that it allows God to come into play.
One Voice has placed drop-off boxes throughout the county in area businesses and other locations open to the public. For West Virginia Public Broadcasting, I'm Jessica Lilly in Wyoming County.
A Franklin, West Virginia native has a recording contract with a hip-hop label. We'll meet her next.
In wartime, how much collateral damage is really intentional?
That was the goal, to kill a woman's dignity.
Raping and pillaging, it just becomes a phrase that people don't think about.
But when a group of Bosnian women took the stand, they changed the rules of war forever.
Let's put things straight.
It was a pure act of heroism.
I looked him in the eye. How come he's not the one who was ashamed?
I came to testify on the next Women, War, and Peace.
Join us Tuesday at 10.
There is one stage that is the Met and Carnegie Hall. It is the Kennedy Center and a club in Austin. It is closer than any seat in the house, no matter where you call home. PBS, the great American stage that fits in every living room. Supporting your PBS station brings the arts home.
We're interested in your comments about This Week in West Virginia and all our news and public affairs programming. Send us an email to feedback@wvpubcast.org or mail a letter to 600 Capitol Street, Charleston, West Virginia, 25301. We look forward to hearing from you. Weapons of Mass Destruction is the name of a new album being released this week by the West Virginia performer A. Breezy. She's a new artist on the scene and making waves in the hip-hop community. Glynis Board brings us this report.
I'd love to sit here and say, oh, I wanted to rap since I was 2 and I've been, this and that in diapers, but no, like 3.5, 4 years ago, I was down in Charlottesville, Virginia. I used to go down there a lot with one of my good friends. He was a producer, and I just made up this song. I rapped it for him, and he was like, what did you just do? Like, are you serious? You wrote that? I was like, I'm sorry I offended you, my apologies, but he was like, no, it was so good.
Added to my list of moments that I had blown. That was a character building experience of its own. Flew through school, next thing you knew, the little clumsy girl grown, and his fate would have it older boy, and I would cross roads. A few years later, after
A. Breezy grew up with 3 brothers and 3 sisters in Franklin, West Virginia, population 735. She came to West Virginia University and got a degree in athletic training. She was signed on to West Virginia hip-hop record label Sound Vision, and for the past several years, she's been collaborating with Morgantown area hip-hop artists.
Oh, I definitely show West Virginia love. I love West Virginia, born and raised.
If you join the thousands discovering her online, you'll find West Virginia pride is a common theme in her verses. She says she writes about what's personal, and that allows her to connect with her growing audience.
This second album, we sat down, we had a plan, Weapons of Mass Destruction. There's something for everyone on the album, but it all is very personal and relates back to me as a person and as an artist. I'm really excited about it. I have like a new favorite song every week off of it, I feel like. This week is probably Give You a Call. It's a song I wrote about a boy back in high school, carried over to college, carried over to now.
He said, Allison, look at you, ooh, you grown. I saw you up on stage, you great. I didn't know, I'm sure you hear this all the time, but girl, you're beautiful. And I was hoping you would start to let me see you some more. And I said, boy, I think you're kinda cute and all, but my music is moving, gotta get my focus on. And he keeps me busy, so my time ain't right at all. I tell you what, when I get free, maybe I'll give you a call. I said, boy,
Right now, I guess I'm just really working on my music and my image and my videos, working on myself as an artist to make myself the best that I can be, and hopefully that'll take me where I need to be.
A. Breezy has already started planning her 3rd album, all of which can be found on iTunes. For West Virginia Public Broadcasting, I'm Glynis Board in Morgantown.
oh no, you didn't like that. You shouldn't poke at karma, cause you know she'll bite back. And now I'm thinking you're broke, you need a life raft. You look confused, have you always looked like that? You should've known, you should've known. You had your chance, boy, but now it's gone. And now I'm grown, and now I'm on.
This weekend, West Virginia PBS premieres a half-hour program documenting the trip that our state's live performance radio show made to Scotland last January. Videographer Bob Wilkinson traveled with the Mountain Stage crew and brings us a behind-the-scenes look at the production at the Royal Concert Hall in Glasgow. Here's a preview of the show that airs tonight, Friday at 9:30, and Saturday at 7 p.m. on West Virginia PBS 2.
In January 2011, Mountain Stage traveled to Glasgow, Scotland to perform at the Celtic Connections Festival. The 19-day event is a Scottish music and arts festival that features more than 300 concerts, workshops, talks, and other events around Glasgow. These are some of the sights and sounds from that experience.
In these last few days, I've been afraid that I might drift away. So I've been telling old stories, singing songs.
This is Paul.
Yes, Doogie, I'm so sorry. I was in the back talking to the...
Okay, good. I use this wee guitar mic.
Perfect.
But the secret of it is not to put any in the monitors.
That's even better.
Yeah, and that way it gets good for the front of the house. And it should be all right, you know, I mean...
One of the guests on this show is an old friend of ours, a great old friend of ours. We're here at the Celtic Connections Festival. This man has long been identified with this festival, and now he has his own festival. His name is Dougie MacLean, one of Scotland's greatest singer-songwriters and balladeers. And from 1991 until 1999, you were on the show 4 times, and then we skipped a decade.
Was that right?
Exactly. And so now we told you someday we would come here.
I know. I remember you having the conversation about that. You wanted to come to Scotland, and you finally made it.
We finally made it.
It's in the darkness of believing. It's in the shadows where we have to stand, beside the loving and the grieving. Oh, I'll never understand. It's in the way it has to reach us.
You're gonna need somebody on you. It's funny because when I went on there, it was almost like this was ordained, because when I looked this up this morning, first thing I saw was that Donovan had done it Really? His first record, which is funny, being here. And he learned it from Buffy St. Marie record, apparently, because he also did Universal Soldier, which was on that same record of hers. And then I looked up a Taj Mahal version, and it has Mavis Staples' name in it. I thought, yeah, that's weird.
We welcome your comments about our program. Our email address is feedback@wvpubcast.org, or send your letters to This Week in West Virginia, West Virginia Public Broadcasting, 600 Capitol Street, Charleston, West Virginia, 25301. I'm John Hingsbergen. Thanks for joining us. Good night.